So today we're going to talk about Lesson 5.9, similar figures. So for a definition, similar figures are figures that have the same shape, but they're not necessarily the same size. If they were exactly the same size and shape, then it would be congruent figures. But we're just going to talk about similar figures. They're in proportion to each other. So, properties of similar figures. To be a similar figure, first of all, the corresponding angles are congruent. So corresponding just means what matches. So the matching angles from one figure to another are congruent. They have the same measure. Congruent means exactly equal. And then the corresponding sides are also proportional. So for example, figure ABCD, the left one there, is similar to figure EFGH. You can see one is larger than the other. So what I want to do is I want to name and mark the corresponding angles and sides. This is going to take us a minute here to do. Alright, so leave yourself a lot of room on the paper so we can mark everything. And I don't know how familiar you are with the geometry markings, but I want to get you in good habits now. So here's the deal. I want to look at angle A. Angle A is right there. The corresponding one, the corresponding angle, the matching angle, would be E. So I just make one little arc on both of them. I know it's not exact. This is a small figure to draw on. But the way that we write that is we write angle A, that little slanted L means angle. Angle A is congruent to angle E. Your angles are exactly the same. Just because the size doubled in size doesn't mean that the angle measurement doubles. They stay the exact same size. Then if I look at angle B, now if I mark it with one arc, that means angle A and angle B are congruent, and they are not. So I need to mark that with a second arc. So guess what? The matching one, angle F. So the way that we write it, angle B is congruent to angle F. And then we keep going here. Angle C, it's a third marking, so guess what? 3 arcs. Matches up with angle G. So angle C is congruent to angle G. And then finally angle D, and I wish I had a better way to do this, but I don't, so I apologize. I'm putting 4 marks. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it gets a little messy there. So 4 marks is going to give me, let's see, angle D is congruent to angle H. Now, those are all our angles. I know you're going to still have that. I'm going to erase all this and start with a clean slate so I can show you all of our sides and all the markings for that. Give me a second. Alright, so the markings are going to be the same. Oops, oh goodness, hold on a second. Alright, there we go. So side AB is going to be congruent to EF. Alright? I'm sorry, I mean corresponding parts. So the way that we're going to write this, and this might be different, it's line segment AB. So I write my AB and it's a line segment, so I put the line over there. And it corresponds to, and this might be different, I'm just putting the arrow, it corresponds to line segment EF. The A and the E are matching angles, matching parts to B and F. It has to be in that same order. Yes, we're going to be picky about this. Same thing, so the next one, BC. BC would not get 1 mark because then it would be AB and BC are the same length, and they're not. BC is a little bit longer. So that's going to get 2 marks. So line segment BC corresponds to line segment FG. And then we can keep going. Line segment CD corresponds with, and make sure you write everything in the same order, corresponds with C comes first, so G is going to come first. Those are the matching angles, matching points. GH. And then we've got AD. I know, it's hard with the 4 there. So AD, watch how I wrote that, corresponds with EH. A comes first, A is matched up with E. So that's how you would write the corresponding angles and sides. You can write the angles with the arrows that we did here, or you can just mark them congruent. I'd rather see you mark it congruent because they are congruent. So this is what we're going to focus on, finding missing measures. So the very first thing is write a proportion. You must match the sides and figures. So a hint is one figure, one ratio. So write the ratio with the one figure, and then that's going to equal the proportion of the other figure. And then this is what we've been practicing all week. Find a relationship or cross multiply. So here's an example. The figures are similar. Find the missing measure. So what we need to find is x. If you look at line segment EF, that's what we don't know. That's what we need to figure out. So let's see. One figure, one ratio. Do you see the triangle ABC? I'm just going to write the ratio with the numbers that I'm given. It doesn't matter how you do it. I'm going to put 6/4. You could put 6 over 4, you could put 4 over 6. That part doesn't matter. This is the part that matters. What are you going to match up with 6? What are you going to match up with 4? So if we look, the corresponding parts, and I'm looking at these symbols. Do you see the 2 lines? Do you see the 3 lines? Well, in between that is the 6. So in between that is the x. My x is going to match up with the 6. And then down at the bottom, in between the 1 mark for A and the 3 marks for C is 4. In between the 1 mark for D and 1 mark for, or 3 marks for F is 12. How do you want to solve for x? That is your call, what you want to do. Me personally, I'm a fan of finding the relationships. 4 times 3 gives you 12. So 6 times 3 is going to give you 18. X is going to be 18 centimeters. And I want to make sure that you guys get in good habits and label it. Alright, we're going to be working with a lot of these in class, so I will see you then.